ई पास बनाने वालों की संख्या में लगातार बढ़ोतरी देखी जा रही है।
उत्तराखंड में चारधाम की कपाट खुल गए, लेकिन कोरोना महामारी के चलते विगत सालों की तरह भीड़ नहीं है। अब कोरोना पर धीरे धीरे आस्था भारी पड़ती नजर आ रही है और श्रद्धालु दर्शन करने के लिए ई पास बनवाने लगे हैं। थर्मल स्क्रीनिंग, सैनिटाइजेशन के पश्चात ही मंदिरों में तीर्थ यात्रियों को प्रवेश दिया जा रहा है। मास्क पहनना अनिवार्य किया गया है। सावन माह शुरू होते ही श्री केदारनाथ एवं श्री गंगोत्री के लिए ई पास की संख्या में वृद्धि हो रही है और अभी तक लगभग 14,731 ई पास जारी किए जा चुके हैं। उम्मीद की जानी चाहिए कि आने वाले दिनों में श्रद्धालुओं की संख्या में दिन प्रतिदिन और इजाफा होगा और एक बार फिर पहले जैसी रौनक लौट आएगी। उर्मिलेश भट्ट की रिपोर्ट, डीडी न्यूज।
अगले साल होने वाले टोक्यो ओलंपिक्स के स्थान तय हो गए हैं और प्रतिस्पर्धा का कार्यक्रम वही रहेगा जो इस साल रहने वाला था। खेलगांव और मुख्य मीडिया सेंटर भी तैयार किए जा रहे हैं। उद्घाटन समारोह 23 जुलाई 2021 से होगा, जबकि महिला सॉफ्टबॉल और फुटबॉल की स्पर्धाएं 21 जुलाई से होंगी। पुरुष फुटबॉल 22 जुलाई और तीरंदाजी तथा नौकायन 23 जुलाई से होगा। पहली पदक प्रतिस्पर्धा 24 जुलाई को महिलाओं की 10 मीटर एयर राइफल से होगी। टोक्यो आयोजन समिति के अध्यक्ष योशिरो मोरी और सीईओ तोशिरो मूतो ने अंतर्राष्ट्रीय ओलंपिक समिति के सदस्यों को ये जानकारी दी। 4 दशक से पदक के लिए इंतजार कर रही भारतीय पुरुष हॉकी टीम टोक्यो ओलंपिक्स में अपने अभियान का आगाज 24 जुलाई को न्यूजीलैंड के खिलाफ करेगी। महिला टीम उसी दिन नीदरलैंड से पहला मैच खेलेगी। अगले साल ओलंपिक्स में हॉकी के मुकाबले 24 जुलाई से 6 अगस्त के बीच आयोजित होंगे। 8 बार की चैंपियन भारतीय टीम को ऑस्ट्रेलिया, अर्जेंटीना, स्पेन, न्यूजीलैंड और मेजबान जापान के साथ ग्रुप ए में रखा गया है। भारतीय पुरुष टीम को 25 जुलाई को ऑस्ट्रेलिया से, 27 जुलाई को स्पेन से, 29 जुलाई को पिछले साल की चैंपियन अर्जेंटीना और 30 जुलाई को जापान से खेलना है। ग्रुप बी में बेल्जियम, नीदरलैंड, जर्मनी, ब्रिटेन, कनाडा और साउथ अफ्रीका है। महिला वर्ग में भारत को पूल ए में नीदरलैंड, जर्मनी, ब्रिटेन, आयरलैंड और साउथ अफ्रीका के साथ रखा गया है। महिला टीम को 24 जुलाई को नीदरलैंड से, 26 जुलाई को जर्मनी से, 28 जुलाई को ब्रिटेन से और 29 जुलाई को अर्जेंटीना से और 30 जुलाई को मेजबान जापान से खेलना है। और इसके साथ ही इस बुलेटिन में फिलहाल इतना ही। दीजिए इजाजत। नमस्कार।
हिंदुस्तान एक ऐसा मुल्क है, अनेक प्रकार के लोग रहते हैं, बहुत से अलग अलग मजहब है, अलग अलग जाति है और अलग अलग हमारा पोशाक है, अलग अलग हमारी जबान है। ऐसा कोई मुल्क दुनिया में नहीं है
डीडी फ्री डिश, भारत की एकमात्र फ्री डीटीएच सर्विस। अब देखिए आपके अपने पसंदीदा चैनल डीडी न्यूज चैनल नंबर 1 पर, डीडी नेशनल चैनल नंबर 2 पर, डीडी भारती चैनल नंबर 60 पर और डीडी इंडिया चैनल नंबर 84 पर। डीडी फ्री डिश, मनोरंजन का संसार सीधे आपके द्वार।
हम आज फिर ये युद्ध लड़ने आए हैं। हम आज फिर अपना फर्ज निभाने आए हैं। हमारे भी घर वाले चिंता करते हैं, पर आज देश की कोरोना से लड़ाई है और हमारा हौसला ही तो इस जंग का सिपाही है। कोई कुछ भी कह ले या कर ले कुछ भी, हम खुद से पहले अपना देश बचाने आए हैं। इस रणभूमि में शायद सांस हमारी भी टूटेगी, पर तुम्हारे प्राण बचाने को हम खुद को निछावर करने आए हैं। वार सभी हम सह लेंगे, पर हार नहीं हम मानेंगे। इस अंधियारे से हम जीतेंगे, फिर देश को रोशन कर देंगे। हम आज फिर ये युद्ध लड़ने आए हैं, हम आज फिर अपना फर्ज निभाने आए हैं। आइए करें उन्हें नमन जिनके लिए सबसे पहले है वतन।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi delivers keynote address virtually at the high-level segment of United Nations Economic and Social Council, assures India's deep commitment to maintaining global harmony and preserving nature's balance, reiterates India will play its role in full support of UN's agenda as a member of UNSC. Raksha Mantri pays obeisance at Amarnath Cave Shrine, holds security review meeting in Srinagar on Friday with Chief of Defence Staff, Army Chief, Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant Governor and Jammu and Kashmir DGP. Three terrorists killed in an early morning encounter with security forces in South Kashmir Shopian district. Search operation underway. Joint Admission Board of IITs decides to relax eligibility criteria for JEE Advanced 2020. All qualified candidates who have passed class 12th examinations will now be eligible for admissions in IITs this year, irrespective of marks obtained. Flood and landslide situation remains grim in Assam, claiming over 100 lives. Heavy rains continue to lash Mumbai and coastal Maharashtra. Several low-lying areas waterlogged due to incessant rains. COVID-19 recovery rate nears 63% with over 6.53 lakh recoveries. Active cases stand at 3.58 lakh. Central team to visit Bihar to assess COVID-19 situation in the state. And in sports, scheduled for 2021 Olympic Games announced. Olympics to begin on July 23rd. Indian men's hockey team to face New Zealand on 24 July, while the women's team to face Netherlands. Good morning. You're watching DD News and I'm Preeti presenting the bulletin. Our top story first. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has called for UN reforms, stressing that the time is ripe to assess United Nations' role and relevance in today's world and to shape a better future for it. He was delivering a virtual keynote address at this year's high-level segment of the UN Economic and Social Council session of the United Nations. The Prime Minister assured that with its deep commitment to maintaining global harmony and to preserve nature's balance, India will play its role in full support of the UN's agenda as a member of the UNSC.
India firmly believes that the path to achieve sustainable peace and prosperity is through multilateralism. As children of planet Earth, we must join hands to address our common challenges and achieve our common goals. However, multilateralism needs to represent the reality of the contemporary world. Only reform multilateralism with a reformed United Nations as its center can meet the aspirations of humanity.
Talking about India's association with the United Nations, Prime Minister reminded that from the very beginning, India has supported UN development works and ECOSOC. Prime Minister also laid emphasis on the fight against COVID-19. He added that though it has tested resilience of all the nations, in India it has been made into a people's movement, with the government pledging $300 billion to revive the economy.
The COVID-19 pandemic has severely tested the resilience of all nations. In India, we have tried to make the fight against the pandemic a people's movement by combining the efforts of government and civil society. We have given the highest priority to reach benefits to poor households. We have announced a package of more than $300 billion. It will bring the economy back on track, build modern infrastructure, and put in place a technology-driven system. We have put forward a vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat, a self-reliant and resilient India, integrated with the global economy.
Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh today visited Amarnath Cave Shrine in Jammu and Kashmir and paid obeisance at the shrine. He also reviewed preparations for Amarnath Yatra. The annual pilgrimage is delayed this year amid spike in COVID-19 cases across Jammu and Kashmir.
भोले बाबा इस स्थान पे बैठे थे, माँ भगवती उस स्थान पे बैठी, क्योंकि जो सुनाने वाला है नीचे ओम गजाननं भूतगणाधिसेवितं कपितजम्बूफलचारुभक्षणं उमासुतं शोकविनाशकारकं नमामि विघ्नेश्वरपादपङ्कजम् ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः ओम पवित्रा पवित्रो वा सर्वावस्थांगतोऽपि वा यास्त्रेत पुण्डरीकाक्षं सबाह्याभ्यन्तरासिः ओम पुण्डरीकाक्षः
Raksha Mantri, who is on a two-day visit to Jammu and Kashmir and Leh, chaired a high-level security review meeting in Srinagar on Friday. He was briefed in detail about the situation at the line of control in the hinterland and successful counter-terrorist operations. Raksha Mantri said that the country was proud of the valor and patriotic spirit of the soldiers. He urged all to continue to work hard to ensure security both on the line of control and in the hinterland. Rajnath Singh also impressed upon the commanders to maintain strict vigil along the line of control and remain prepared to give a befitting reply to any misadventure by the adversary. The Raksha Mantri complimented everyone for great synergy and close coordination amongst the security forces and government agencies towards bringing back normalcy in the region and lauded their work in ensuring peace and security in Jammu and Kashmir. In major success of the army in Jammu and Kashmir, 3 unidentified terrorists have been killed in an ongoing encounter. The encounter broke out between security forces and terrorists in Amshipora area of Shopian. According to the officials, a joint team of Kashmir Police, 62 Rashtra Rifles and CRPF launched a cordon and search operation in the wee hours after forces received specific inputs about presence of a few terrorists in the area. The search operation turned into an encounter after the hiding terrorists opened fire at the forces from the cowshed of the lone house in an orchard. The forces retaliated to the gunfire, thus ensuing a gun battle between the two sides. The operation is underway and it is the second encounter between security forces and terrorists in the last 24 hours in Kashmir. HRD Ministry has announced that the Indian Institutes of Technology will do away with admission criteria of minimum 75% marks in Class 12 this year. Candidates clearing JEE Advanced will be eligible for admission to IITs irrespective of Class 12 marks. Union HRD Minister Dr. Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank in a tweet said, and I quote him, "Due to partial cancellation of Class 12 examinations by several boards, Joint Admission Board has decided to relax the eligibility criteria for JEE Advanced 2020 qualified candidates this time. The qualified candidates who have passed class 12th examinations will now be eligible for admissions irrespective of the marks obtained. Enthusiastic response has led the central government to extend the last date of submission of entries for Atmanirbhar App Innovation Challenge to the 26th of July. The challenge was launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on 4th of this month, and the previous last date for submission of the entries was 18th of July, that is today. The challenge is hosted on the Innovate portal of MyGov, and to participate, one can log in to innovate.mygov.in and choose the app challenge. The Electronics and IT Ministry has said that so far 2,353 entries have been received across the 8 identified categories, including 1,496 from individuals and 857 from organizations and companies. Amongst those received from individuals, around 788 applications are ready to use and the remaining 708 are under development. For the apps submitted by organizations, 638 apps have already been deployed and the remaining 221 are under development. Around 100 of these apps have more than 1 lakh downloads. The applicants are from all over the country, including remote and small towns, indicating a wide pool of untapped talent in app development. And up next, we'll take a quick look at the COVID-19 update from across the country. A total of 6.53 lakh people have recovered from COVID-19. Now, according to the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, a total of 6,53,750 people infected with COVID-19 have recovered across the country so far. Presently, the total number of active cases in the country is 3,58,692. With the outbreak of COVID-19, both patients and nephrologists have started increasingly opting for home hemodialysis. Now, dialysis patients are a vulnerable group because of their existing comorbidities, repeated exposure to risky hospital environment and immunocompromised state due to chronic kidney disease. Now, these patients are consequently more prone to acquire infections and develop severe diseases as compared to the general population. Understanding this need, NephroPlus launched India's first Dialysis on Wheels program, where a patient can undergo dialysis inside the ambulance itself which comes to their home. A first in India, the pilot mobile van initiative will be accessible to patients across Delhi, Gurgaon, Faridabad, Ghaziabad and Noida region who seek essential dialysis treatment right outside their homes. The ambulance van is designed by industry experts and comprises a fully operational dialysis setup. And amid rising number of COVID-19 cases, many states have imposed weekend lockdown. Uttarakhand government has also imposed statewide lockdown on Saturday and Sunday. Complete lockdown is being observed in 4 districts, including the capital, Dehradun. The other 3 districts are Haridwar, Nainital and Udham Singh Nagar. However, all essential services will be exempted from restrictions. A weekend lockdown is also being observed in entire Uttar Pradesh. Markets and offices will remain closed on weekends. However, banks will remain open on Saturday. In Odisha, in the wake of rising COVID-19 cases, the state government has imposed complete lockdown in 4 districts from 9 p.m. on Friday to midnight of 31st of July. The lockdown will be in force in Ganjam, Jaipur, Cuttack and Khordha districts and Rourkela Municipal Corporation in the Sundargarh district. However, essential services will be permitted while some offices of central and state governments would be allowed to function during the lockdown. In Gujarat, a 4-member central team reviewed the situation of COVID-19. The team also held meeting with Chief Minister Vijay Rupani over the issue. Dr. Randeep Guleria, Director of AIIMS Delhi, told that pandemic situation has improved in the state since last 2 months. He also lauded Ahmedabad Metropolitan Municipality for its efforts to contain the spread of the virus.
मैंने यहाँ पे सारे डॉक्टरों के साथ बातचीत की, उनके इश्यूज समझे, कैसे कैसे हम ट्रीटमेंट दिल्ली में कर रहे हैं और कैसे कैसे और जगह पे हो रहा है, उनके साथ डिस्कस किया कि हम यहाँ पे और क्या अच्छा कर सकते हैं, चाहे डॉक्टर्स प्राइवेट सेक्टर में हो चाहे गवर्नमेंट सेक्टर में हो, पेशेंट मैनेजमेंट चाहे वो दवाइयों के बारे में हो, आइसोलेशन के बारे में हो या प्लाज्मा के बारे में हो, उन सब के लिए क्या कर सकते हैं. उसके लिए सबसे डिस्कशन किया, आपस में हमने अपने अपने उनके प्रॉब्लम समझे, क्या उनका सोल्यूशन हो सकता है। और मेरा ये मानना है कि इससे आगे जाके बहुत फायदा होगा। सूरत में केसेस जो है वो कंट्रोल में आएंगे और आस्ता आस्ता फिर कम होने लगेंगे।
With Bihar seeing a spike in the number of COVID-19 cases, the Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare has decided to send a multidisciplinary team to the state to assess the situation. The three-member team will coordinate with state health authorities to review the existing situation and provide necessary support and guidance. Bihar is under complete lockdown till 31st of July due to rising cases of COVID-19. As COVID-19 pandemic still prevails in India, the Election Commission has sought suggestions from all national and regional political parties regarding campaigning for upcoming elections. In a letter written to the political parties, Election Commission has sought response till 31st of July in order to prepare guidelines to curb the spread of the virus during election campaigning. Bypolls in some states and the Bihar Assembly elections are due this year. Referring to the present COVID-19 situation in the country, the Election Commission said that centre and state governments have already issued guidelines under Disaster Management Act 2005 and several other laws and measures to ensure safety of people from the virus during election campaigning. Senior BJP leader Sambit Patra lashed out at Congress, calling raucous in Rajasthan as its political drama and conspiracy. He even asked serious questions from Rajasthan Congress and Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot. BJP has demanded CBI probe in alleged phone tapping, including whether the SOP was being followed in phone tapping.
राजस्थान में कांग्रेस पार्टी की जो पॉलिटिकल ड्रामा चल रही है वो हम देख रहे हैं। एसओपी फॉलो हुआ, फोन टेपिंग इत्यादि किया गया, क्या संविधान को ताक पे रखा गया, क्या एक इमरजेंसी की सिचुएशन आज राजस्थान में है, क्या सभी राजनीतिक पार्टी के सभी लोगों के साथ इस प्रकार का व्यवहार किया जा रहा है, इसको लेकर सीबीआई द्वारा तत्कालीन जांच हो। और जो 10 कॉम्पिटेंट एजेंसीज हैं उनका नाम है इंटेलिजेंस ब्यूरो, सीबीआई, ईडी, नारकोटिक्स कंट्रोल ब्यूरो, सेंट्रल बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्ट टैक्सेस सीबीडीटी, डायरेक्टरेट ऑफ रेवेन्यू इंटेलिजेंस, National Investigation Agency NIA, RAW, Directorate of Signal Intelligence and Delhi Police Commissioner.
Up next on Weather News, flood situation in Assam remains grim as over 3,000 villages in 28 districts are still submerged. Over 100 people have lost their lives due to floods and landslides so far, while around 36 lakh people have been affected across the state. Dhubri, Goalpara, Barpeta and Morigaon are the worst hit, with above 4 lakh population affected in each district. More than 51,000 inmates are taking shelter at 304 relief camps in the state. About 1,28,000 hectares of cropland still remains inundated. And from Assam, we'll get to the situation in Bihar now. The flood situation in Bihar remains grim, with rivers in the state overflowing. Flood water has spread over various other parts of the state. Over 2,88,000 people living in 8 districts are badly affected due to floods. Now, according to a report submitted by the State Disaster Management, out of 8 districts, Darbhanga is the most affected, where 1,58,000 population of 30 Gram Panchayats located in 4 subdivisions are affected by the floods. 9,845 people have been evacuated from various flood-affected areas. More than 2,000 people are living in relief camps. The Met Department has predicted light to moderate rainfall in some parts of the state during the next 24 hours. The office bearers of Ram Janmabhoomi Tirth Kshetra Trust have geared up preparations for Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Ayodhya to lay the foundation stone for construction of Ayodhya Ram Temple. Ram Janmabhoomi Tirth Kshetra Trust will hold an important meeting today to finalize the preparations for the same. In lieu of the meeting, advisor of Ram Janmabhoomi campus and Prime Minister Modi's former security in charge K.K. Sharma and Construction Committee Chairman Nripendra Mishra, local security officials and Trust General Secretary Champat Rai have begun devising a concrete plan. It is being said that after today's meeting, the Trust can possibly declare the date of laying the foundation stone of the temple. Today's meeting will be held at Ayodhya Circuit House, where 12 members of the Trust will be present, while 3 other members will be involved via video conferencing. K.K. Sharma and former IPS Nripendra Mishra, who arrived in Ayodhya, and Champat Rai, General Secretary of the Trust, have prepared a roadmap for Prime Minister Modi's meeting with local security officials at the Circuit House in Ayodhya. The saints and mahants of Ayodhya hope that Prime Minister Modi, upon reaching Ayodhya, will worship Lord Ram and also perform the Bhumi Pujan.
ट्रस्ट की बैठक होगी, वो भी इसी स्थान पर होगी और वहाँ का एजेंडा तैयार हुआ है। एजेंडा आज दिखा दिया गया है। 18 तारीख की ट्रस्ट की बैठक में अंतिम निर्णय होगा।
Up next, we'll take a look at the global update on COVID-19. Coronavirus has claimed the lives of over 6 lakh people worldwide, while more than 1.4 crore people have contacted the infection so far. US and Brazil remain the worst affected countries in terms of COVID-19 infections and fatalities. The US has so far recorded over 36.47 lakh cases and over 1.39 lakh deaths, while Brazil has crossed the 20 lakh mark and recorded over 20.46 lakh infections and over 77,000 deaths. Looking at the death toll worldwide, US and Brazil are followed by the United Kingdom with 45,300 fatalities, further followed by Mexico, Italy, France and Spain. Meanwhile, in a bid to find a rapid, easy and reliable way to detect COVID-19, a new saliva test for COVID-19 is being trialled in the UK. Now, this new saliva test does not require the use of a swab. The test can be conducted even in the comfort of the homes. In the United Kingdom, the virus has so far claimed more than 45,310 lives, while the number of cases are more than 2,94,800. In sports, the postponed Tokyo Olympics will be held at the same venues and under the same schedule as planned before the Games were delayed due to novel coronavirus pandemic, Tokyo Games Organizing Committee on Friday confirmed. The Olympic opening ceremony is scheduled to start on July 23rd next year, in keeping with the plan to officially begin the Games on the 4th Friday of the month. The Tokyo Olympics were originally slated to be held this year between July 24th and August 9 before the outbreak of COVID-19, and that resulted in unprecedented one-year postponement. The softball tournament will start 2 days before the opening ceremony, as also planned prior to the postponement in northeastern Fukushima prefecture. Also, IOC and organizers have vowed that the games will go ahead and have said that they cannot be postponed again. Both also said that if they cannot be held this time, they will be cancelled. And India will start their hockey campaign at the postponed Tokyo Olympic Games, with the men's team taking on New Zealand on July 24th next year. Indian women's hockey team will be in action against reigning world champions Netherlands in their opening match. The 4th-ranked Indian men, who are in Pool A along with Australia, reigning champions Argentina, Spain and hosts Japan, besides the Black Sticks in the 12-team competition, will run from July 24 till August 6th next year. Pool B comprises of world champions Belgium, Netherlands, Germany, Great Britain, Canada and South Africa. In other preliminary league matches, the Indian men will take on Australia on July 25th, play Spain on July 27th, run into Olympic champions Argentina on July 29th and round off their league engagements against hosts Japan on July 30th. And Deccan Chargers, one of the earlier 8 franchises of the IPL and the winner of the second edition held in South Africa, have won an arbitration award against the BCCI for unlawful termination after a long battle of 8 years. The termination of the Deccan Chargers is likely to cost the BCCI huge in form of 4,800 crore rupees. This comes following the court-appointed arbitrator passed an award in favor of the owner of the franchise, Deccan Chronicle Holdings. The arbitration proceedings were initiated by owners of the team back in 2012 in the Bombay High Court after they failed to submit a bank guarantee of rupees 100 crore. Soon after, BCCI sold the Hyderabad franchise to Sunrisers Hyderabad for 425 crore rupees through an auction. In 2017, a similar arbitration case was won by the owners of now terminated Kochi Tusker Kerala, and the BCCI was asked to pay 850 crore rupees. No payments have been yet made and the matter remains unresolved. Argentine Paralympic swimmer Sebastian Galagilo has found an unusual way to train during lockdown. With the help of his father, he has made a makeshift pool in his backyard using plastic sheets. The self-made pool can hold 400 litres of water. Galagilo, who is part of the Argentine team of deaf swimmers and is training to participate in the 2021 Deaf Olympics in Brazil. Argentina's government imposed a mandatory lockdown on March 20th, which has been extended around Buenos Aires until at least July 17th due to a recent spike in COVID-19 cases that now number over 100,000 with nearly 2,000 fatalities. Despite the Southern Hemisphere winter, Galagilo trains daily in his do-it-yourself pool with heat from wood burned in a metal drum. Innovative, isn't it? On that note, we'll end this bulletin here. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.
Drop, cover, hold, hold. Hey Akshay, has everyone understood? Good, very good. Let's do it again. When an earthquake strikes, go to an open place. If you cannot, then first drop down,
Cover your head. Hold on to something tightly, or go to a safe corner and cover your head. Learn to protect yourself during an earthquake. Your wisdom lies in your preparedness. Always ensuring your safety. NDMA.
हिंदुस्तान एक ऐसा मुल्क है, अनेक प्रकार के लोग रहते हैं, बहुत से अलग अलग मजहब है, अलग अलग जाति है और अलग अलग हमारा पोशाक है, अलग अलग हमारी जबान है। ऐसा कोई मुल्क दुनिया में नहीं है
डीडी फ्री डिश, भारत की एकमात्र फ्री डीटीएच सर्विस। अब देखिए आपके अपने पसंदीदा चैनल डीडी न्यूज चैनल नंबर 1 पर, डीडी नेशनल चैनल नंबर 2 पर, डीडी भारती चैनल नंबर 60 पर और डीडी इंडिया चैनल नंबर 84 पर। डीडी फ्री डिश, मनोरंजन का संसार सीधे आपके द्वार।
हम आज फिर ये युद्ध लड़ने आए हैं। हम आज फिर अपना फर्ज निभाने आए हैं। हमारे भी घर वाले चिंता करते हैं, पर आज देश की कोरोना से लड़ाई है और हमारा हौसला ही तो इस जंग का सिपाही है। कोई कुछ भी कह ले या कर ले कुछ भी, हम खुद से पहले अपना देश बचाने आए हैं। इस रणभूमि में शायद सांस हमारी भी टूटेगी, पर तुम्हारे प्राण बचाने को हम खुद को निछावर करने आए हैं। वार सभी हम सह लेंगे, पर हार नहीं हम मानेंगे। इस अंधियारे से हम जीतेंगे, फिर देश को रोशन कर देंगे। हम आज फिर ये युद्ध लड़ने आए हैं। हम आज फिर अपना फर्ज निभाने आए हैं। आइए करें उन्हें नमन, जिनके लिए सबसे पहले है वतन।
Corona warriors.
Thunderstorms and lightning are hazardous for life and property. Check weather forecast ahead of time and stay indoors during a thunderstorm. But just being inside isn't enough. You must take precautions to be safe. Close windows and doors and stay away from them. Stay off balcony, porches and terrace. Plumbing and bathroom fixtures can conduct electricity. During lightning or thunderstorm, avoid contact. Do not wash hands. Take a shower, wash dishes or clothes. Do not use wired phones. Cordless and mobile phones not connected to wall outlets are okay to use. However, save battery and use SMS. Unplug all electrical appliances and turn off air conditioners before a thunderstorm. Avoid contact with plugged-in electrical equipment or cords during a thunderstorm. In case